This is good. I got my head shake scooter and I need to put my glove on. Don't shake, don't shake. Yeah, I need to edit the video a bit, so I'm not sure. I'll have to just fit this in. Normally I do my videos all in one go, but I'm almost at work and I don't have time to redo this. And I don't think I have the balls to redo this anyways after all that head shaking. So yeah, my scooter shakes because it's unbalanced. But even if you have a perfectly balanced, well set up motorcycle and or scooter, you can still, well actually not with a scooter, well, there's another type of head shake that happens, and you don't have to worry about it on a scooter actually, so nix the scooter. If you have a motorcycle, want to try it again? It's shaking pretty badly. Let's try it again. There we go. Oh man. Oh man. I'm trying to like lean around a corner too with it shaking. I'm using my body to take the bend in the road while this thing's shaking. Okay, headlights burnt out, traffic lights. Yeah, the other type of head shake is when you have a fast motorcycle and you accelerate hard, your front end becomes light. And sometimes it becomes so light that it's just kind of barely touching the ground, kind of like just skimming along the ground, if you will, like just barely touching. And what happens is, if you imagine the tire touching the, because you're accelerating hard all the way to the bike's on the rear tire, and the front tire is like almost popping a wheelie, but not quite. So it's still touching the ground, but it's light as a feather, right? And if there's a bump or like a kind of a bit of a slant in the road at that time, then what will happen is the extremely light front tire hits a little bit of a bump and it'll turn. But meanwhile, you're accelerating straight. So what happens is it'll actually turn and then it'll correct itself, no problem. But when it corrects itself, it'll often overcorrect. So it turns a bit to the left because it hits a bump. It quickly corrects itself by turning back to the right, turns too far, then it corrects itself again by turning back to the left, left, right, and you get the shakes. That's the one that often causes crashes. And that's the reason why if you look at almost any high-performance motorcycle, and this is a scooter, so it's a bad example, but they'll have a damper, D-A-M-P-E-R. It's like a shock. It's kind of like the shocks you have on the top of a door, like a little hydraulic suspension unit thingy majigger. And it'll be like right here, and it'll kind of like, and what it does is it stops the handlebars from shaking. It puts a bit of a resistance on the handlebars so they can't go into a violent shake. And yeah, so those are the two main kinds of head shake. There's one you get just from having an unbalanced front end, and the other is from hard acceleration when you hit a bump. And from having as we've seen, from having an unbalanced front end, it's not the end of the world. As long as you got your hands on, it's not going to bother you. I'm doing 60 miles an hour. If I take my hands off now, I think because of the higher speed, it's not going to shake. And then as I slow down, it starts to shake. And then, but like, it's not that big of a deal. And we saw, even if I kept my hands off, what happened was it just kind of shaked consistently. It got worse and worse to a point, and then as my speeds dropped, it stopped as well. And with hard acceleration head shake, they say the best thing to do is just accelerate harder. They tell you not to fight it, because if you kind of fight it, it could cause the bike to shake, and it's better for the handlebars to shake than for the whole bike, so they say. But it's hard to say, man. When you're on a motorcycle and the handlebars start shaking in your hand, you go with your gut. The correct thing to do is to accelerate more, to lessen the load on the front suspension. But if you're already at full acceleration, then what do you do, right? Did you say we have oral sex at 5? Okay. Oh. Okay.